the truth is like, and this is what I tell my people all the time, and I know you do as well. The goal is not to get to a place where you are just endlessly, perfectly consistent on your regimen with every single area of your fitness, because that sounds so unappealing to me, because I don't want a life where I have to just expect to always be on point with everything. It's not going to happen. It's going to stress me out. I want to know that, sometimes maybe I won't work out for a week, or sometimes I'll have like a triple burger and a milkshake and not worry about it. Like these things are going to come up, and I don't want to have to keep working to get to a place where that never happens.
Yeah.
I want to get to a place that I know no matter what happens, like I don't care what you take away from me, equipment wise, what situation happens in front of me. I know enough and I have enough experience, I being like, let's say the client,
Mhm.
to get back to where I want to be. Like no matter what happens. That's true confidence, I think, in any area of life and in fitness. That's where the confidence comes from. So I'm much more interested in developing people's confidence in their fitness so they can get back to where they want no matter what happens, rather than just having them always be on track with everything and kind of like perfect all these pieces, because it's just not realistic. Um,
Yeah. And sorry, that makes me think about just like oftentimes I think if it's a weight loss goal, or if it could even be a strength goal or something like that, we often think of it as I want to lose X amount of pounds, and maybe I want to do it by whatever the date is, a certain day. Um, and I think I get why that's often the mindset, where it's like, I want to accomplish this amount of progress by a certain day. But the reality of it is you don't hit that day and you make the progress, and then that's just your progress and it ends. The reality is that you continue, because if you don't continue with whatever you're doing, you may see the progress that you made backtrack. And I guess the point I'm trying to make is like, there is no perfection. There is no, like, you get to this point where everything's dialed in, and you just are that healthy, fit person. It's a continual thing that you have to work with. So naturally, you have to understand that there are going to be periods of time where you're not going to be as dialed in. You're not going to be crushing yourself in the gym 5 or 6 days a week. You're not going to be, hitting your macros or your calories every single day. You're going to have periods of time throughout the year and throughout your life that it's going to ebb and flow. And being able, like you said, to get to a point where you can accept that and understand that and just see it as a phase, but understand how to put the pieces together, because you have some of those habits built up already. I mean, that's such a huge marker of progress, I think.
Absolutely. I have a question for you, and I'm sure the people that are listening to your episodes often know this, but what's just a little more background on you? What's your kind of style with working with people? What do you typically go through? Who do you like to work with? I'm curious about that.
Yeah, in terms of goals, it seems to be often weight loss goals, but I also, my big emphasis and philosophy is that everybody should be strength training. I really think virtually everybody should be strength training. So, if you want to lose weight, if that's a goal that you have, understanding that, like, maybe it's not the rapid fat loss program that you should be on. Maybe we design a program for you that is a bit more well-rounded, and sure, we're doing cardio, but we're also getting you into doing some of these strength training basics, where we're pressing, we're rowing, we're squatting, we're pulling on a weekly basis to develop some overall strength, and not only set you up well so that you end up losing the weight, you get down to a healthier body weight, but then you also kind of have a foundation where you're able to pull from more than just one area to manipulate your progress and where you want to go from that point moving forward. So it's not just, well, every time I want to lose weight, I got to do cardio 5 days a week, and I got to get on the stair stepper in the gym and do it until I'm drenched in sweat. And then I show up again tomorrow and I do it again. Yeah. So kind of, the goal is normally weight loss, but we try and make it more well-rounded so that you're learning a lot more about what you can do with fitness than just lose weight.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that a lot. And that also brings me to another thought of and I know this is something that's said so many times and people hear this and they preach it, but truthfully, like how important understanding the deeper part of what you want to achieve is, like understanding that deeper why, you know? And again, I know that's it's a book title and it's a headline and it sounds so like cliche, but if there's any goal, even if someone's like, I don't care about the why right now, right? I just want to get to this place and on my body and then we'll figure it out, you know? It's setting yourself up on a weak foundation. And I'll work with people sometimes, you know, who will start off by saying that. They'll be like, I understand it's important, but just for these few months, like, can we just not worry about the deep thing? I just want to like go super aggressive and just like do this, do this, do this, do this, and then I'll figure it out. But the thing is, when said person gets to that goal, right? Whether they get there or not, when they get to that date or that event or that thing, they're gonna be in the new present moment. You know, they're not gonna all of a sudden lose that mentality. That mentality is actually probably gonna be worsen, quote, because now they've put in 3 months of these like self-sabotaging habits and behaviors, and they've been so aggressive to themselves that now they're gonna probably say, you know what, maybe it's fine. I'll keep doing this aggressive thing to get to the next place, and it's gonna build and build. So my whole thing is like just like a kind of a snowball going down a hill, right? It's going to start very small and not very obvious, but it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, whatever you do. So those little steps in the very beginning of somebody's kind of fitness and their journey, so to speak, is very crucial how they go about it, right? What lens they look at it from. So I want people from the beginning, even if they're just kind of basic and they're getting into it, to understand their why or try to, or understand kind of the deeper meaning behind fitness itself, right? More than just looks, more than just this. Like, where are they going to be when they're 80 years old? How are they going to feel about themselves? What kind of like life did they live? You know, how does fitness play into that? And that's why you need to start not having everything in place, but start appreciating that aspect of it. Because if you don't now, like it's going to be harder and harder to focus on that.
Yeah, I love that. And what you said at the end there about like where are you going to be when you're 80
Yeah.
and how do you envision that now? Because I think that's, I mean, that long-term mindset is just, it's not talked about nearly enough because it's not sexy. It's not going to sell a supplement or a program or anything like that. But I personally think about that a lot. Like, I don't want to be in a retirement home when I'm 80 because I can't get up and move around and on my own. I want to be able to be reliant on myself and able to do the things that I want to do for as long as I possibly can. So if that means 4 to 5 days a week, I got to put a little work in on me. I think that is an investment that's entirely worth it.
Mm-hmm. You want to be able to wipe your own ass, basically.
That's one of the things. Yeah.
That's one of the things. But yeah, and you know what too is like, and I think just to try and add to what you're saying too is that's such a, at least to me, right? And to a lot of people, that's such a logical thing, right? It's okay, you want to be able to do this when you're 80. It's a no-brainer then to take care of yourself, you know? But so many people that we talk to, and maybe you and I have struggled with this at some point as well, like still have a hard time connecting our current actions to 60 years from now, 50 years from now, you know, even though it seems like it's a good idea, it makes sense, we're going to get there. It's like, okay, but I have time. I have more time to do whatever I want to do. And then I'll worry about it when I'm 40 or 50 or 60, whatever. But you also like appreciate not just how you'll see things when you're 80, but what your actual quality of life is going to be like day to day, you know, because the more that I've been strength training myself and training, the more I realize the reason I keep doing this is because of how it makes my current day, you know, because like we could have goals for tomorrow, we could have plans next week with a friend, we could have things to do, but the only thing we're actually in control of is like today, literally, like this next hour, right? It's 10:30 a.m. Like I can't control anything but this conversation. So I feel a lot more energetic, confident in this conversation, excited to be chatting with you because I did some deadlifts an hour ago, you know, like I had some water, I ate breakfast, I did some things for myself that are now impacting this moment. If I didn't do those deadlifts, if I didn't have that water, I would be a little like cloudy. You probably would not get the office jokes out of me. Like I would be a little, you know, I wouldn't be the same person. So I really try to get people to understand it's not just the lifting, the nutrition, the body, the strength goals, right? It's like your work life, your family life, your whatever your deeper purpose as a person is, like even if it has nothing to do with fitness, is going to be seriously noticeably better if you just do a few lifts a few times a week. If you just if you like get to feel what your body's movement is like, right? If you put some good shit inside of you, you know, that's gonna help a lot.
Yeah.
And like why not use that tool? Because it's a tool. It's like I don't lift now because I'm like, oh, I have to stay on my program because I have these goals. It's like I'm going out with my girlfriend later. I'm gonna go do some work. I don't really want to feel kind of like soft and cloggy in my head and all this stuff. I want to feel very confident, solid physically, like alert, etc. Feel XYZ. And doing a workout now, doing a hard, aggressive, whatever workout is going to get me there. You know, so it's a tool.